This is Kaylin, better known as Professor Cygnus and Angels. Coming into scenario as one human being, I know it is beyond the sight you are seeing. We're doing very good, my miracles, my wonderful angels. And remember to have healthy eating, appropriate speech, appropriate behavior, appropriate clothing, appropriate spacing, the science and anatomy of all things. Also, remember to have the goals of the body, the household, and the outside responsibilities. I'm the founder of the nonprofit Cygnus Industries. You can refer to me as Mrs. Cygnus. As usually, I consider myself as one with my angels, alone in the physical life, and my angels are always with me. And continued prayers for a miracle every single day. But here we're going to be overviewing the wood stove and how to start a wood stove properly. So first and foremost, every 2 or 3 times of use, this chimney needs to be cleaned. If you do not clean the chimney 2 or 3 times of use, the resin may stick, and that is why it is very important to clean this about 2 or 3 times of use. This wood stove has not been utilized in a few days because wood stoves are a mess. That is the thing. When it comes to wood stoves, if you're not ready for a mess, do not get a wood stove. So here's what you need in order to start your wood stove. You need 2 or 3 30-gallon trash cans filled with wood. You need wood of all sizes. You do not get wood that's too large in size. Get wood that is small and medium and large, but not too large. You want to get small tiny sticks, a bunch of small tiny sticks, so that you can start the wood stove with the tiny sticks and then work your way up to the bigger logs. So you want 2 or 3 of these 30-gallon trash cans of wood, because that could last you for a little bit. How long does this usually last? Does an entire 30-gallon tote last? Usually about a day, sometimes 2 days. That's why you want 2 or 3 of these inside with extra stock outside. Very good. And the little ones are doing very well. Currently whining about something. She gets bored easily. So here we have the food. The food can cook and everything on this wood stove. I already had done the wood stove review. You can check out the channel Professor Cygnus to know where this came from and what company had created this. This was on clearance around the time, so this was only about $170 on clearance. But the prices may differ now since the clearance may not be going on, and may have the same price. I'm not sure, but you can go on the wood stove review episode on the channel to know about it. And also, you all, sing-along songs created needs to be noticed. I feel very unnoticed when it comes to my sing-along songs, and guess what? Gave out free product anatomy pages that took sleepless nights to be able to create, and that would be really wonderful for everyone to have the opportunity of education with the free anatomy printout pages. Here again, and you just screen photo the printout pages and do the puzzle while listening to the sing-along songs. I mean, that's seriously amazing. I've never known anyone to ever do that. And for like me to go unnoticed, I think that's terrible to go unnoticed putting all that effort forth. And currently, the wood stove review had like almost 1,000, or actually exceeded 1,000 views. And it's like, here my sing-along song album is not having but a few views. We need to change that. But we'll get back to the wood stove. So how to start a wood stove. This is an out-of-the-window chimney. The out-of-the-window chimneys are wonderful. Just make sure that the top is not too close to the house, because then there'll be stains on the house. So you got to tilt that outwards. And all that had happened was you just cut the chimney. This is a smaller chimney. You cut the chimney, you put a curved piece on there. You put a curved piece on there, and then you put it out the window. You get a metal sheet to put outside of the window and nail that to the outside, and you put a hole through it beforehand, of course, that puts the chimney out. And you can put aluminum foil around there to make sure that that heat does not escape. And also aluminum foil the back wall so that can be protected as well. So you want to have the 30-gallon tote full of wood, but you also want to have a big bag of grass. Grass is an incredible wood starter. You can have some cardboard as well. So there's thin cardboard and then there's thicker cardboard. So you want to have both the thin cardboard and the thick cardboard. So to start a wood stove, so you want to have the small tiny little sticks. As you can see, this is thin and the other part is a little bit thick. So this is exactly what we need to start this up, is this small tiny little stick here. So we're going to show you what we have so far. Also, leftover charcoal. Before you're going to just stop the wood stove, you need to put some logs in there, let it burn a little bit, make sure it's not completely out, and just shut everything, shut the wood stove off by closing the dampers. And then keep that charcoal, because that charcoal is your main goal to keep that fire going. So you can save some leftover charcoal and utilize that charcoal for next time that you're going to utilize the wood stove. So that definitely helps. Also, these heat-resistant gloves are wonderful as well. The company had included that with the wood stove. If you want to see the wood stove review, just go onto the YouTube channel, Professor Cygnus, and you can look at the wood stove review there. So we're going to take a look at the inside of this here. So this is exactly what you would want. As you would want the tiny sticks at the top, you'd want the grass at the bottom, and you see this is what we was talking about. This was when putting the wood into the furnace before and then closing the damper afterwards to make sure that that can save the leftover charcoal. So also there was some cardboard in there. You sandwich it, and then we'll show you the results of when this starts up. Very good. So we'll start this by getting the matches. Now, the more grass you have, you do not want to have too much grass. Make sure that the chimney damper is completely open. Before starting the wood stove, you want to feel the damper on the inside of the chimney if you have one, just to make sure that that's open to where you're not going to have any smoke come out to the front, because if the damper is not adjusted correctly, you can have smoke come out to the front and get poisoned, because it does definitely feels like poison. Do not let it get into your eyes. Do not let that smoke get into your mouth or anything like that. If so, you can wash your mouth out immediately. I found that when you have to clean the wood stove so often that it gets in your throat, and I did an otoscope video of seeing that black stuff that was in my throat. It was terrible because it went into my sinus gland. I blew my nose and I had stuff coming out of my nose. Really, really suffering at times. But if you do not have to clean it that day, but you have to be very attentive to cleaning the chimney, because if not, it could start a chimney fire. Now, I'd say that you could wait 3 or 4 times until you clean the chimney, but it's important to clean the chimney 3 or 4 times of use. But I would not procrastinate it. And then definitely do not wait an entire year to clean the chimney. That's when it would be terrible. So currently letting everything grow. And the grass is just so wonderful to start everything up. And we're going to have that grass here just in case we need to add more grass. We'll add a little bit more cardboard. Now make sure to have your metal tool that you usually utilize to be able to move things around in the chimney. And that tool could look like a little shovel. There's different tools that you could get. There's also a little wood stove fan that operates by heat. So once the wood stove starts heating up, the fan blows the heat. That's a pretty good tool for wood stoves. Neat. So we just continue to add grass until this cooks up really well. Until the little sticks catch on fire. You do not want to use too much of your grass, but have like a couple bags of this if you got a lot of space. Because this is a small house, I mean, barely anything can fit in this small space. So it looks like the wood stove has now been started, so what we want to do is add more little sticks. Come over here to the big barrel. Do not allow the smoke to come into the front. You want to leave the bottom damper open, leave the top damper closed, because the smoke will rise and go to the top, but the bottom will not. So have some Glade spray as well. Glade spray is non-toxic, and you can get rid of the toxic smells with the Glade spray. Also, like a special spray, just do not spray that directly on the wood stove. Just spray around the wood stove. Very good. And this was the episode of How to Care for a Wood Stove. You got to clean the ashes every single time as well. Just make sure if there's any leftover charcoal to keep that leftover charcoal, because that could come in handy the next time you need to start the wood stove. And you all, please look at the sing-along songs of the album. Share that video to your friends. And reach out if you know anybody from the radio, from record dealers, anyone in that sense of a manner. Contact me immediately. I've tried to be known from my songs, and so far I feel very unnoticed in that field. As you see when you open it, try to add some in. There's smoke that comes out. It's very toxic, so do not let it get in your face. Keep the top damper closed, bottom damper open. That way you can avoid having the smoke in there. Currently the wood stove is having all of the toxins and things like that going out of the chimney. And currently we're just waiting until the small sticks build up, and then we're going to add a larger stick in there afterwards. Now we have these smaller sticks going. This one is not as large as this one, but we'll add the smaller one in there. Very good. The heat-resistant gloves are amazing to have. They just get dirty really quickly with having to deal with a wood stove. And be prepared, your clothings are going to smell like wood stoves. The house is going to smell like wood stove. You know, this stuff sticks and is toxic. Just do not try to breathe it in too much. I think honestly it's like this is an emergency way of heat only. If you do not have any other options, use a wood stove. If you do have electric options, just choose the electric options, because we're telling you, now, to have this just in case the electric goes out, that's great. I do not have access to electricity or water. I'm telling you, if you're saying, oh, my electricity bill is high, it is more than money can buy, you all. Seriously, because, you know, with a severe brain injury, I'll tell you that this does sometimes worsen medical problems. Which is why I'm praying for a miracle to have enough money to move the electricity lines. Not only moving the electricity lines, you all, I got to dig a water well, got to get septic done, got to get a transportation vehicle. I have a bicycle and wagon. And the chain, I recently tried to move the chain from the bicycle to the tricycle. And then the chain ended up just breaking, and now I do not have a way to bicycle, but I have to bicycle to the store, which is 13 miles there, 13 miles back, 26 miles altogether with a severe brain injury. And recently I've had signs of another sickness, of, you know, things going on. I'm not sure if it's a tumor, cancer, what is it, but it's happened for years. I've had years of gastrointestinal problems. I'm recently having blood in my stool. For the past week, I've seen blood come out, and it's, you know, severe pains of the large intestine has happened. So I'm trying to get through this. The rheumatic fever was growing this morning and hurting my throat. 2 major hematomas, brain injury, and lots of problems, you all. But, you know, the fact is I've done everything I could in my ability to do what I can for the channel and for life, and I know that it's hard for me, and I'm continuing to do my best. I'm praying for a miracle. I continue to pray for a miracle, and just saying, like, how to deal with an emergency situations, and also low budget, low income things. This is absolutely low income budget, because this was only about $170 or so, and this was on clearance around the Cyber Monday sale. If it's not the Cyber Monday sale, it's the fact that this could be out there. This is a Vevor stove. If you want to know more about the Vevor stove on the HomeDepot.com, you can look at the review episode that I have of that. Remember, this has to be cleaned. What I do is I take apart the chimney piece by piece, and then I clean it. I take it all outside. It's best not to clean that inside, because then you get a bunch of dust and all kinds of things. So now it looks like there needs to be more sticks added. Very good. So we're going to go to the 30 gallon. Now the bigger ones cannot be added until later on. But here's the thing, you can actually add a bigger one while getting the little stick started, so that can already get heated up and prepared. Like, put a bigger one on this side while starting the little ones on the other side. Because that's usually what we do, so that we can start that bigger one up. We as my angels and I as one human being, you metaverse and the little puppies over there. Always accredit my angels. And I pray one day they may accredit me. What do you think? I don't know. I just feel very unnoticed by life. So as far as conserving on wood, whenever it rains, you cannot go out there and get wood, because that wood will no longer be valid. So it's important to try to prepare before the rain and before the weather strikes. So now we have started the wood stove up. And the more that you prepare is the more that you can have, so just keep preparing during the times of sunshine. And if you got electric chainsaws, that definitely helps. Do recommend the electric, but sometimes the electric will go out really quickly. Gasoline, you can just pour the gas in there and that will keep going as long as you need. But, you know, environmental friendly things as well. Also, at nighttime, when you go to sleep, you cannot attend to the wood stove at a constant, so that ends up going out. So before you go to sleep, just close the dampers. And then let the charcoal be saved for whenever you wake up to attend again. Very good. So now that we started this up, we're starting on bigger logs now, not too large of logs. As you can see, this is already starting on the larger pieces. Good diligence, very good. Now you want to arrange this, like there is different arrangements that you can utilize while you put the sticks in there. There's one where you can put a log sideways like this in the stove and then put logs on top of that so that there will be some gaps so the fire can have oxygen. There are some strategies in Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts that you would hear that people put that in a teepee. There's some strategies of ways that you can put the wood stoves like this. You'll put two on the edge and then some going through the middle like a ladder. There is different strategies. Here's a question: can you start up a wood stove with a larger one? See, your main moral goal is to turn it into charcoal. Once it turns into charcoal, then you're good to start it up. So what I'd do if you was going to start on a bigger one, grab a lighter or a match or something and just try to charcoal it beforehand. Because if you do not, it's going to be hard to get that fire to stick to the wood. And so just try to charcoal it first, and then after it turns, you turn the entire thing black, and then after that it's starting up the charcoal. And then afterwards put it in there, put some grass in there, and some cardboard, and that should be able to start up. But it would be a little difficult, so add some more wood onto that. You can put that one like sort of sideways and put the other ones stacked onto there. So there is different formations that could help as well. And this specific formation is this. You got logs going this way, and then we'll put the logs sideways as well, just as long as the fire has enough oxygen, but not too much gaps. So the charcoal that was saved from yesterday, or from a long time ago, have not utilized the wood stove in a while. It just went cold and just dealt with the cold because this is so much of a mess, and you got to conserve the wood. But that saved charcoal really came in handy. This bigger log over here is already catching on fire. That's the one that was saved from the time before. And so, like we said, you're not going to be able to save this for nighttime. So just go ahead and close the dampers entirely before you go to sleep. That way you can save the wood. You can save that charcoal for later. Very good. And we pray that everyone is staying healthy and investing wisely. And hey, you all, if you all have not seen the new comic movie already, that took weeks to be able to create by hand. And that was purely created by hand and by pure intelligence. And so if you all would like to see the comic movie that teaches a very important lesson of respect and leveling your respect for people and the understanding of success, and it's not only that you succeed in the result into which you see, because a lot of people, they do not care about how somebody does it. They just care that someone succeeds. So we teach in the comic movie that it does matter how you succeed, how you get there, and if you're good and worthy or not. So that, as I've seen a lot of YouTube channels that make hundreds and thousands and even millions of dollars, people just congratulate them, whether if they're good or not, whether if they're inappropriate. Obviously, a lot of them, you know, may not be good or may be good. And some of them may wear inappropriate clothing and may not be the best example for children. And, you know, people are encouraging them in the comments to continue and to do their best. And so many wonderful comments that they have on their channels, and they're not even the best influence for children. And people just more of congratulate people. They do not care how they got there. I think that's an issue in this world. You know, we got to help people become aware that it does matter how you succeed and how you get there. So you can look on the channel for the comic movie, because that definitely could help you all learn perspective. Because one thing that's more than money can buy, I do not get sponsorship or ads, but we'll tell you, we're practically doing things that are more than money can buy, and on the behalf of these lessons that could literally change people's lives in the way that they think and change the future as we know it. Because the way that you think creates the decisions that you create. And if you thought in a good way, then you would make good decisions. So, and if you thought in a bad way, you can be converted to make good decisions. And so, in order to help people to make better decisions in life, we have to alter their perspective to something better. And so that's the moral of these lessons. And that is put onto the channel. I've just seen over 1,000 views on the wood stove review, but my sing-along songs are barely getting any views at all. I think that's a major issue. Because you see literally the top 10 Billboard songs, there's a song named Water, and they're talking about some dishonorable stuff that the females were doing, dressed in inappropriate clothing. And that had 54 million views in the matter of 1 month's time. And guess what it was talking about? Illegal prostitution. I think that's such a dishonor. That's a stupid dishonor. How in the world, and it was a song that they created about, you know, giving their body out. And I'm telling you now, children these days are so at risk. We need to change that immediately. That's such a dishonor. It really is, because what really should be getting views like that is my sing-along songs for children and adults. And not only that, like songs like From the Weekend, I mean, really bad songs that are not good for children. Out of those 54 million views from that one song, how many of those views do you think was children? I'm telling you, millions of children obviously had seen that disgusting video that Vivo put on there. I contacted Vivo Television and I addressed it. I addressed it immediately. And I told them, I said, you all need to put my sing-along songs on you all's television show because you're ruining, you know, your show. I told them when I was a child, as a teenager, I was in a children's home. We watched Vivo Television. And children watch Vivo Television, even, not children's home, the children's academies. So in the children's academies, that is a sign that Vivo was popular for children to watch. Now it's getting to the point to where it's dangerous for children to watch. And especially since they had a song like that on the top 10 billboards. And that really does need to change. And so you all, I'm looking forward to seeing more views on my sing-along songs and more views on the comic movie that was created. I really put a lot of effort forth towards these contributions that's put out. And it's practically like this. It's practically like, here, I'm going to the metaverse school, okay, and I'm teaching lessons, but they're saying, we're not going to pay you. We're not going to support you. You're going by the jug. You do not have access to water or electric or any of those priority things, but we're not going to pay you nothing. We're not going to support you nothing, but we expect you to just give your all. That's practically what it is. It's practically like going to a school building and them telling you, you're going to teach everything, all of your efforts, you're going to give forth, and you're not going to get a single thing from it. Like, that's practically what has happened for years. Not only for a day, but for years. And I definitely do expect a lot more from the channel. I expect that things need to happen. There's been over 1,000 video contributions with lots of efforts. And yet nothing has come out of this. I'm very, very disappointed in that field. And especially, like, the certain circumstances, because when it comes to judgment, you judge by your life story, number one. You judge by your circumstance of what you're going through, number two. You judge by the effort that you put forth, number three. Obviously, they're not judging correctly. And I'm telling you, I'd be a better judge than they ever was. And they ever would be. And the fact is you all need to start. And I'm talking specifically to the superiors out there. You all need to start judging correctly, number one, and you need to start putting down proper order. I'm so sick of you all not having proper order in life. What is your order now? It's an imbalance. That's why life is such a mess. And if it was not so, we would not have said it. You know, how can the song of something that is illegal be on the top 10 billboards when my songs is not even close to being there? Makes no sense. It really does not make sense. I've reached out to radio stations. A radio station, I sent them a letter, actually, a physical letter. I've sent emails. I've contacted news channels. I've contacted Pandora, contacted all kinds of these different things, reached out, everything that I could reach out to, I've reached out. Not a single thing has came back to me with a response. Besides Pandora, and they were like, you gotta upload your music on this, and then apparently they take away your rights if you upload it on the other ones. And I was like, oh no, I'm not doing that, because I deserve to have my rights because I have copyright on my songs. But there's a certain thing that you can upload your music to where they try to take away your copyright. No, I have copyright on my songs, and I'm not going to upload it to something that's not going to keep my copyright laws. So you can forget about that, because YouTube keeps my copyright laws, and they do good at keeping my content safe. So I feel comfortable with that. But I do have my songs on SoundCloud, which also keeps my laws safe as well. But I would not upload anywhere that does not keep my content safe. And sadly, Pandora asks you to download it to something else that's not as safe before going on Pandora. Possibly because they want your rights. They want your song rights, and that's not going to happen. But if you all know anyone from record deals, also have reached out to anyone watching the streams, or anyone that's out there in general that you may know or that your friends may know, anyone that has access to radio stations, record dealers, studios, anything, contact me about that. Seriously. I do not add background music to my songs because life needs to be natural. What people need in these days of time is naturalism. People are going so unnatural. They're doing unnatural things, behaving irrationally, doing reckless things, not making good decisions. Now, for the good ones, that's wonderful. But we are specifically talking about the people who are influenced by music in bad ways because it's unnatural. And they add this background music, and some people do not even listen to the music because it's bad for their heart. And it's proven that sometimes music that has background music, like unnatural bass sounds and frequencies and vibrations, that it disturbs your body during the times of doing things. Some people say that it pumps them up and gives them adrenaline and things like such, but honestly, it's not healthy for the public to have unnatural music. So that's why there's no background music, and it's all natural. And that's what the world needs. And so, and also the free product, you all, that took nights, sleepless nights and days to create. And it actually, this song album, one of the song albums took over a year to put together. Because some of those songs was actually created in the moment. And so, and it could not, even some of my songs, I'll admit, I could never redo the same way. I mean, because once it was created in the moment. I could never do it the same exact way that I did before. And so those memories are very special. So it was recommended from a viewer to make a song about a wood stove. So we may do that at some point. Since nobody cares about actual education and they only care about wood stoves, obviously. 1,000+ views. Like my first video that had over, my first video that had over 1,000 views was the DNA sing-along song. Everybody loved that song. But obviously, I never get support from these things. That's why there's not a lot of songs being created, because I'm not getting support, and it's constant stress for me. Actually, a few days ago, I was feeling the frontal lobe, like the frontal parietal lobe of my brain start to swell because I have 2 major hematomas, and the stress of constantly struggling is actually killing me, physically killing me. So I just keep praying for a miracle, and I want to accomplish my dreams, because without my dreams, then I might as well not live. You know, it's either this or nothing. So this is my dream, not to struggle, but to have a farmer's market, to have an animal sanctuary, to manufacture the books for the blind, to help robotics become more involved, and to go to college to be able to learn engineering to make amputee legs and arms, help robotics become more involved. And also I want to make these robotic suits for people that are unable to walk, so that they can walk with the robotic suits. As I've seen someone that made a robotic suit, but they have it for prices that they cannot afford, and they do not have it available everywhere. So that's why we need to create something that can be affordable and available everywhere. But the thing is, I need millions of dollars, plural, millions of dollars to be able to accomplish my dreams. You know, I'm not talking some cheap dollars here, just moving the electricity lines. I need more than that done. You all, a lot more than that. I need plural millions of dollars. So when I ask for the heavens for a miracle, I mean a real miracle, not some cheap dollar stuff. Because you know what? If I would have been paid on my channel, from the first times when I started, I would have already had over $200,000 of sponsorship ads and view counts. I would have had over $200,000, because I've had my channel for a while, and see, these people, they're making a lot of money on YouTube. You know, a lot of them would not even tell you how much money they make, but there has been some that have admitted to how much money they're making. But it makes a lot of money, and it's wrong for them not to support me. And the thing is, I do get upset sometimes when I hear about people saying about how they're getting money from even Facebook. There was this commercial that they put on about how they're getting paid on their channel, and they got to quit to start the career of Facebook, and they got to quit and just have that as their career. And I'm thinking, they have opportunities, they got transportation, they got support, and all they were doing was making cake. Okay, this is the thing. The guy was like, I wanted to pursue my passion of making cakes, which is wonderful. You want to do sculpting, but I mean, do people really like diabetes more than they like my lessons? Come on, you all. I mean, the guy was just making cakes and then suddenly getting millions of views and got to quit and continue to make cakes. I mean, it's not like it's changing lives. Come on. You know, we want to change lives. The thing is, obesity is a severe problem in this world. And I guess they like to watch people make cakes and stuff so they can just think about getting diabetes in the future or something. I mean, for goodness sake, you all. I mean, yeah, thankful for the person, of course, got to pursue his dreams, but I mean, how could you have a dream of just making cakes? What in the world? Look, everybody's different. I want to make real differences for this planet. And I need millions of dollars to do it. Or for goodness sake, I'll be dead. I put my funeral photo out there that says in memory of. Got a comment on the channel from someone. We'll take a screen photo of that comment. Okay, now going to get the screen photo. Excellent processing, you all. Very good. They do not process as much as they do for others. So this is what the person had said. She deserved compensation for the incident that ruined her life. Her continued suffering in this world was a testament to the U.S. justice system that punishes the weak and rewards the healthy for no regards for its own legal statuses. So we appreciate that comment. We will say that the U.S. justice system needs to update, absolutely. But that was a wonderful comment there. But we will say that I want to be more than just a testimony. I could be more than that. I could be so much more. If only the people understand. But it's good that that person had empathy. You know, I made it a big deal that somebody actually commented something that had a form of intelligence to make sense about life. I was supposed to get $1 million of compensation, is what the lawyers had promised, but they gave me nothing at all. And I actually went homeless after that, after getting hit by a 30,000-pound car, and with suffering with 2 major hematomas. But the thing is, you all, I've prayed for a miracle, and I continue to pray for a miracle. And I actually had a dream back in August that I'd win the lottery, you know, the big lottery. And I'm thinking maybe this is the heavens reaching out to me. And because it's either I accomplish my dreams or I die, and it goes to, and my life just goes to waste, just goes to nothing. And so having the dream, it gives me a sense of hope and faith, because literally, SSI, I'm struggling check by check. I go by the jug. I do not have enough money. They're denying every single loan opportunity, and showing you all the loan opportunity that they denied. And I mean, every single loan for years, not only for this month, but for years they've denied opportunities. And, you know, they approve a lot of people, you know it, but they do not approve of me, which makes no sense. But I've thought maybe the heavens was trying to tell me about that dream of winning the lottery. It gives me faith, gives me hope. I need millions of dollars, not some cheap dollars. They